Let's see. Marky Mark says, is histrionic personality disorder common with men? I don't know the statistics on that. Personally speaking, I haven't, like, as a nurse that works with people with personality disorders, I haven't seen, I don't know if I've ever seen that with men. It's not a very commonly diagnosed personality disorder, to be honest. I think, and frankly, neither is narcissistic personality disorder. People, from what I've experienced, they tend to kind of get, women tend to be more diagnosed as borderline, and men tend to be diagnosed as antisocial. I can't think of any women, frankly, that I've come across that have been diagnosed as antisocial. I have come across a handful of men that have been diagnosed as borderline. But again, I think those guys, it tends to be unaddressed trauma, because when people tend to do like injurious type behaviors like cutting, or other types of like, the scarification or burning themselves, or suicide attempts, those kinds of things, they tend to get the label of borderline personality disorder. But yeah, it's narcissism and histrionic isn't used a whole lot. And frankly, okay, so Lisa's saying mine was diagnosed as antisocial. A lot of what we're talking about, a lot of what I talk about on my website is more of antisocial traits. So, and the reason I don't differentiate, because for me, it's sort of like trying to figure out if you're, what kind of poison you're drinking. Is it bleach or is it strychnine? Like, doesn't, frankly, for our purposes, it really doesn't matter. As long as it's toxic. If a person's toxic, that's all we need to know in order to get away from them. But narcissists tend to be, they are so blindingly selfish that that's what's abusive about them, is their blinding degree of selfish behavior. It's all about them. There's no empathy or remorse because it's all about them. They don't tend to, like use and like exploit people. Sociopaths, antisocials exploit other people. They have a pattern of using and abusing people, and it's definitely a lot more calculated. Narcissists just like lack self-awareness. Sociopaths tend to have the self-awareness. Like narcissists really tend to like, they're more of like the overt ones. Like they don't apologize. They're selfish. They're grandiose. They're egotistical. Sociopaths have the self-awareness to know that they'd be better off, they're superficially charming. They're, they say what they need to say. A narcissist won't say what they need to say oftentimes. They think they're always right. So there's no budging with them. The reason, but again, like the core issue with sociopaths, with psychopaths, with a lot of like histrionic kind of stuff, it's a blinding degree of selfishness. It's just on that spectrum of problematic. So I don't differentiate, because I think a lot of people get caught up in trying to figure out what they're, and it's understandable, right? Like what they're dealing with. Is this person a narcissist, or are they a sociopath, or are they a borderline, or and that can keep a person stuck in a toxic situation for a long time, because they're trying to figure out, again, like understandably so, what they're dealing with. But getting an accurate diagnosis, getting this person to get in for a diagnosis is a challenge within itself. But then if they're highly manipulative, and if you're going to a clinician that is not really highly trained with dealing with manipulative people, it's easy for a master manipulator to manipulate the situation, and the therapist and the clinician.
Lots of love to you guys. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and heal from this.